welcome to The Sanctuary, a safe space to speak from the heart. My guest today is Mr. Stop the Violence himself, Quentrel Provo. Thanks for coming to The Sanctuary today.
No problem. It's good to be here.
Yo, thanks, man. How are you doing, and what things are you currently working on?
I'm doing all right. Surgery, knee surgery, in February really kind of stopped a lot of things for me. It's something that you had to prepare for mentally and just deal with that whole side of thing. And it gave me a break. It gave me a
Mm,
break going, I remember back in January I said I was going to take a break because mentally doing Stop the Violence and being there for everyone else and trying to help in any way I can, I was getting to a point where I was going to be burnt out.
mm-hmm,
So I took a break, and I'm just starting to get back into the flow of things. But even though I was on a break, I was still doing some speaking engagements that I already had accepted, and I started helping a lot of different organizations doing consulting and trying to help them diversify. Um, their policies and such for
mm-hmm,
inclusion. With the whole Black Lives Matter and everything that went on last year,
mm-hmm,
um, a lot of people reached out to me. We want to be more inclusive. We want to be more diverse. How do we approach this? And basically telling them, you have to approach the community that's affected and see, what effects does your organization have on them and how can you guys help. It has
mm-hmm,
to come from them. Then you change the policies and then you change how you go about things. But it has to come from them because that's the only way they're going to feel inclusive and feel that, it's in their best interest. So I've been doing a little bit of that and trying to plan some mentorship a mentorship weekend for youth, but it's kind of hard within a pandemic. But I want to do a mentorship weekend and start that. We have kids that go to basketball camps and hockey camps,
mm-hmm.
and I came up with this idea. Let's do mentorship camps where you help kids out mentally and help them stay focused on education, stay focused on their dreams.
Mm.
Usually we do mentorship programs, but I said, what if you made it fun, made it where they want to come, where they want to, meet different mentors and stuff. So those are a few things that I've been working on, even though I'm taking a break.
So let's actually rewind a little bit to
Mm-hmm.
last summer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was going about their merry lives as as much as possible, and then pretty much overnight the world had to shut down. How was that experience for you, and what were some things you had planned to do that you had to cancel because of the shutdown?
Let me tell you, that pandemic shutdown was a blessing in disguise for me.
Mm,
In a 6 week span, from the end of January till the shutdown, I had did about 29 speaking engagements,
wow.
and mentally, I was so exhausted.
Mm,
You get it so repetitive and you're in different, it wasn't just schools. I was speaking at government agencies and other organizations and just the mental changes, like dealing with the elementary kids and then speaking differently to the high school kids. And I was really getting to a point where I was going to be burnt out, and the pandemic happened and it shut
mm,
down everything. And it was a blessing in disguise for me because I was so overworked in trying to do everything. And I know a lot of people was like, you need to take a break for yourself. And I just, this is my thought process. When I feel that I'm making a breakthrough and I feel that I'm making change, it's
mm-hmm,
hard to kind of take a pause when you're in that momentum, when you're in that movement. So I was doing that, and I was planning to do the Stop the Violence youth talk show.
mm-hmm,
That's what's up. Basically, giving the youth a platform to basically share their ideas and talk about their concerns within the world, and highlight them academically and athletically, and
mm-hmm,
give them a platform for themselves. So that's still something that after we figure out this pandemic that's going to go on, and then the youth mentorship thing that I'm doing, trying to do this year. was something that I was planning for last year, to do a youth mentorship weekend where we have youth all under one like either at a hotel or a conference center, bring them together for a weekend. They get mentorship from mentors within the community. At the end, have an awards banquet, highlighting all these young youth that are, going through this program. And then, the following year, they come in and be mentors and mentor and it just goes on. And so those were a few things that I was working on that I thought were going to be big for the community. And then the pandemic hit and the world was just stopped just like that. And so they can be done, but now things have to be reworked around the pandemic. So those were a few things that I was working on last year before the world stopped.
Yeah. So, the world stopped and it continued, and in front of millions and millions of people, last summer we watched somebody get murdered, a black man that just went about his merry way, whether it passed the counterfeit notes or not, for whatever reason it was called. And we watched for just under 10 minutes a person get his life snuffed out of him. And it became this battle cry that, has put a lot of fire on a lot of people's behinds. Why do you think what happened to George Floyd has been so powerful? Because it's not really that different from what has happened over the years, So what was different about this one?
The difference was we were in a pandemic and there was no sports on. There was nothing to watch on TV. There was nothing going on in the world. The world was at a standstill. This was an issue that we can go back, Philando Castillo, Sarah Bland, Trayvon Martin. We can go on, the list goes on, you know what I mean? And the world was at a standstill and the world had to see and watch this, And then everyone was like, oh my God. This is like outrage, like it shouldn't be happening, like he literally killed them right in front. We as black people have been seeing that for years. We witnessed this for decades, and to see that and see the world finally be like, oh my God, like this is someone's life being taken right in front of us for no reason while he was in handcuffs. And it hurt, man. I remember watching that video, man, and I literally had tears. Because we watched a murder happen right in front of us. And if that didn't make you emotional, if that didn't make you feel something, man, you ain't got no heart if you just watch George Floyd, life be sucked out of him with a knee on his neck and not feel anything. So the world was at a standstill and witnessed that and was like, it was wrong. It wasn't like it wasn't happening, because us as black people been seeing it, been knowing it, been speaking up, been marching, been protesting, been rioting, been doing anything for y'all to hear us. And then it took a pandemic for y'all to be like, oh my God, this is actually a real problem. And so seeing that, and then seeing, like people start using their privilege to start speaking out and, and start being allies and be like, oh my God, like we have to help. Like it's so frustrating, and being an activist and you continue to speak out as a black man on the issues that you have, but it takes a voice of privilege to validate what we've been saying for decades. And that's another issue that a lot of people don't understand, that hurts. We've been saying this, we've been speaking up, we've been protesting, but a voice of privilege speaks up about it, that this is wrong, and then all of a sudden it's real, and and that's where the frustration was. And I remember speaking out so much on it and saying, I hope after this trend, because everyone was like hashtagging it, Black Lives Matter and blah blah blah. Because it was hot, it was everything. That was what the world, and on social media, if you know what I mean. But a lot of people were asking me like, I seen you at the protest and everything, and people were asking to take pictures with me and stuff, and I was like, I didn't come here to take a photo op. I didn't come here to take pictures to show that I came out and like, oh, I was at the march. No, we have real lives that are being lost And so after that, I was saying, I hope this is not for a trend. And then as the trend went off, you seen it die down. People not talking about it. People not saying anything. I was still trying to work behind the scenes, and I continue to work behind the scenes on racial inequality, injustice, and all that stuff. And I continue until I don't have breath until we see change. But so many people that were Black Lives Matter, got quiet. Oh, because it's not a trend right now. It's not a hashtag right now. We don't need to talk about it. But everyone was out, putting up the Blackout Tuesday. They were, Black Lives Matter. And then what happened right after that? Jacob Blake.
Yeah.
We witnessed Jacob Blake. A man walking back to his vehicle showed up to break up a fight between two women. Police are called. They come. They are trying to arrest the man that broke up the fight. Man walks back to his vehicle with his kids in the vehicle and took 8 bullets to the back, paralyzing him. Not 8 bullets like he was trying to get the police or anything. 8 bullets at close range getting in your vehicle. And that's what continues to happen to this day, is that we continually see these happen, talked about for the moment, talked about for the week that it's on, talked about while it's trending, and then nothing. All those people that want to see change and want to talk about work continue to stay on those politicians, those people in power, those lawmakers. Continue to do all that. Continue to speak up. Continue to be an ally. Your voices of privilege. Be an ally. Continue, us as bad people, continue to protest. Continue to speak up until we see change. I have a 10-year-old son. And the hardest conversation I ever had was have to explain to him about the George Floyd shooting. The George Floyd kneeling on the neck. And it was all over TikTok. So kids seen it. That's what we don't understand, that today kids see everything. Back in my when I was growing up, we never really had cell phones, and they never had internet on them, and they never, really had anything you could watch. There was no social media, really. And so now kids are seeing this on a regular basis. And then look at the mental. And you got me on this topic, but the mental aspect. And I wrote a post last summer, and I basically said, employers, check in on your black employees, because seeing ourselves, or checking on your black friends, because seeing ourselves killed over and over on video or whatever. Yeah, they think because it's happening in the States. No, black people are connected. We are connected. That could be my uncle. That could have been me. We see that. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Oh, it's just happening in America. No. It's what happened about Regis, Kaczynski Paquette in Toronto that, we're protesting about and still speaking up about, and there's countless of names. What about myself being racially profiled as a black man here, being followed in stores? It's part of the issue. And people don't understand that. Canada, the thing that happened to the U.S., and I say to people that they don't understand, Donald Trump being elected as president was the best decision that U.S., and I say this with a grain of salt because a lot of people are like, oh, what do you mean it's the best decision? The hatred and everything that was going on in the States,
it's now in the open.
It came out in the open. It was just, he busted it wide open where everyone, it was already there. It was hidden in pockets. Yes. But then when he got in control, it exploded everyeverything. Up here in Canada, we still got it hidden.
Yeah.
We still got it in pockets. We got the Prime Minister speaking out and saying, oh, well, there's been racism or whatever, and, we're going to work hard to change it and whatever. Some think just because we put Viola Desmond on a $10 bill that, oh, now we've come a long way. No, that is them showing, a little glimpse. Hey, let's just give them this and they'll be content. They won't continue to speak up. They won't continue to cry, that, there's racism. But it's still here. It is embedded in systems. Systemic racism, in the justice system, in the education system. And until those things change, And you can't do Band-Aids. And that's what I've been telling people. Putting these Band-Aids over top. Like, you gave us vital adjustment on the $10 bill. Okay. But how long did it take for you to get to that point? And that's not everything. And the frustrating part is that people don't understand how deep the racism is here, especially in Nova Scotia. I tell people, Nova Scotia got racism like no other place in Canada. Because my ancestors been here 400 plus years. We've seen what they did to Africville. We've seen how they put the people back in Preston on Slate Rock and so they wouldn't grow farms and prosper, and they put them away. You know, we've seen that to my ancestors and people. They threw garbage in Africville. They did all that to move them out. To what? Build a park? And now, years and decades later, you want to give us a church there. You want to start making an apology. It didn't have to be done. And people don't understand when we talk about racism, when we speak up on discrimination and all that stuff, it's something that hurts. It's something that we live every day. It's something I can't explain the feeling. I tell people, when we were going through that Black Lives Matter, a lot of people of privilege, white people, were scared to have uncomfortable conversations. Oh, how am I going to have this with my kids? And it's so uncomfortable. Like, imagine being uncomfortable every day of your life because of the color of your skin. That's me. That's me as a black man. Every day. Going out when I drive my Mercedes, wondering, oh, is the police going to pull me over today? It's a regular thing. Wondering if I go in Walmart or, go in the grocery store, who's going to follow me today? These are things that they don't understand. So if I can be uncomfortable every day, you can have those uncomfortable conversations. Mm-hmm. And having those uncomfortable conversations means that you're ready to get out of that comfortable state and you're ready for change. Until change does not happen in your comfort zones. It happens when you're uncomfortable, when you're outside the norm, when you're doing things that are not just comfortable for you. And people don't understand, man. It is frustrating trying to explain when I say, when I talk about white privilege, everyone's like, oh, well, I'm like, they were like, well, I'm not privileged. I came from this and that. And it's not saying that you didn't come from, a hard life or you're not come from poverty and whatever. It's not saying that. It's saying that simply by the color of your skin, you have an upper hand in any situation than a black person.
Yeah.
Than another person of another race, just because that's your privilege. And they don't understand that. I don't like this word privilege. Oh. Well, understand, you don't have to like it, but it is a fact. Yep. It is truth, and you walk into a job, I walk into a job, I could be more qualified than you, but they're going to look at me differently than they look at you.
Very true. Yeah.
I'm not saying this or whatever hypothetically. It has happened to me. When I speak on things that are fact. And people don't understand that. And that's the thing that frustrates me with this whole, everyone wants to do something. Everyone wants change. And a lot of people want to implement things that it doesn't happen overnight. Mm-hmm. And if it happens overnight, if you can change something overnight, bruh.
Yeah.
Bruh, if you can change something overnight, wow. Well, tell me. It wasn't an issue at all. And it wasn't a deep issue. Yeah. These systemic racism, systemic issues in the justice system, these are not overnight Band-Aids. Mm-hmm. If you put a Band-Aid on an open wound, ask me how is that going to heal? Probably get infected. Mm-hmm. Probably, down the road you got to get it fixed up a little bit more. Nah. We're not trying to put Band-Aids over. We're trying to sterilize that. We're trying to go in, get the problem, fix it, understand that it takes time. And I told someone the other day, I said, understand, My knee injury, tearing my ligaments. Understand, I got surgery. Am I going to be better this month? Nope. Next month? No. They told me a whole year. And then even after that, it's a progress thing. So understand that real change is going to happen if you put in the work, but it takes time. I started Stop the Violence 9 years ago. I didn't see the change in year 1. I didn't see the change in year 2. I didn't see the change until 2016 going into 2017. 5 years after. That's when I start to see little changes and little stuff. I'm at year 9, starting to see some little changes, little stuff. But those little seeds down the line, 20 years from now, are going to blossom, blossom, blossom. And that's what people don't understand. It's not something you can yell Black Lives Matter in a protest for a couple days and go back to your normal life. That's what privilege is. Me, I can yell Black Lives Matter, continue to yell, and I'm still out here yelling. I'm still out here working because that's an everyday struggle that I have to live.
Yeah. And
that's the difference. So you got me a little bit deep into that. It's just something like, man, people don't understand, man.
Well, I'm sorry to do this to you then, because a couple of days ago on Instagram it went crazy. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But you were just mentioning, Trump came in, just pulled the veil off and said, this is who we are. It was funny when things were happening in the US and then people were like, this is not who we are. Like, no, this is who you've been. You've just been wearing a mask.
It's just been mask, exactly.
And now the mask is off and we now see you for who you are. So yeah, we know who you are now. But back here in Canada, we kind of it's like racism light. So when something like what happened and was put on Instagram, and everybody here saw, it's like, wait, it is happening here. Like, how would a police officer that his job is to protect and serve do that and feel comfortable doing that? But not even that. I don't know, I sometimes I tell myself, don't read the comments, but I can't. No, and then you just see someone it's always is explaining things off, always saying, oh, but he's a drug dealer, but he's a that doesn't.
It doesn't make it okay.
Exactly.
It doesn't understand. Yes, he should be arrested. Yes, he should go to jail. Yes, he should be charged. Okay. But then the police officer still has to be held accountable for his action, what he said. And people don't understand that. When I first heard the video, being honest, I thought I heard, I will kill you for an effing laugh. That's what I thought I heard. That's what, a lot of people thought they heard. Then it was corrected that I will fill you with effing lead. That's what it came out to be. And people asked me my stance and asked me, I apologized and corrected my words. Yes, the words were changed. I will apologize and stand corrected on the words that were said. Right? But I wanted people to understand from my point of view on what I seen in that video with a black man with his hands up or whatever walking away. And furthermore, let me just make it clear or whatever. From what I was told, they say, well, it was a weapons and drug call. Apparently, it was a disturbance that was called. Yeah. They just happened to find the gun later and whatever later. Okay, cool. That is irrelevant to what was said. You have a black man walking with his hands up. There's no gun in his hand. There's nothing. And a cop says, I will fill you with effing lead. Knowing he's in a public place, because it's an apartment building, knowing that it may be caught on camera, he felt comfortable to say those words. And this is what I told a lot of people. This is what I seen in my head. I see Philandro Castillo. I remember George Floyd. I remember Regis or whatever. I remembered all those that had been killed by police officers. That's what goes through a black man's mind. That's what goes through. When you see a man with his hands up walking away, Jacob Blake walked away, still took 8 bullets. And they don't understand that. Those words were unacceptable and he has to be held accountable. I don't feel comfortable being protected by someone that will say those words as a black man. You know? And then I further went. I said, I've been mistreated by police. I've been profiled. And if you haven't experienced that on a regular basis, bruh, how are you going to tell me I can't feel some type of way? How are you going to tell me that I need to apologize? Well, the police officer, and I had people reach out to me. I had people that, you know, are privileged that reached out and explained their thoughts on it and everything. And I'm just like, I understand your perspective and I respect your opinion. But you don't understand my perspective and I can't put you in my shoes. But I know other black people can relate to what's going on. Other black people see it. It's a systemic issue. And when you look furthermore, there's only 29 black police officers older. I think it's 500 or 600 in HRP. Whoa. 29. Exactly. Whoa. 29.
Whoa. Okay, that's actually a scary statistic, man.
Exactly. And I remember, I always tell people, I remember when I was at basketball a few years ago, and we're in the gym, right? And it was like three or four of us black guys or whatever in the gym playing basketball, and it was a bunch of white guys or whatever. And we put up, we were talking about that was when they were doing the apology in 2019, right? The police, the HRP did an apology, and we asked how many people here have been profiled by police and pulled over by police. You know, between the 8 or 9 white people that were there, they've been pulled over twice in their lifetime, total. Between the 4 black people, between the 4 black people, it was over 30.
Yeah. No surprise there.
And that's the crazy thing. I was like, myself alone, I was like, y'all twice? Bruh. I'm over 10 at least. And I was like, that's me hanging with my boys, driving or whatever. If they got a nice car, I was like, but me alone, I was like 6 or 7 of them. I was like, I got a Mercedes. And you want to hear the crazy thing? I was on a panel for HRP talking about profiling back in October on their cultural panel. 5 days after sitting on that panel, I was pulled over by police with my new Mercedes. 5 by HRP after sitting on a panel explaining.
Whoa!
And that's why I tell people, understand the experience. Understand that this is what we live. We go through this on a daily basis. You're not going to understand from our perspective. When we see a cop putting a gun at a loaded gun, he could have used his taser. He could have de-escalated the situation, but he felt the need to just pull out a loaded weapon. Dude got his hands up in his ear. In the air, and you tell him, I will fill you with effing lead. How do I feel safe as a black man? That, you know, you picture yourself in these positions because it could happen.
Yeah,
you've seen it happen over and over and over, and that was the frustrating thing. And then, you know, when I told people, I tweeted out after the story was out in the media and people were on social media and posting it, Halagonia and all that stuff, and I said, you want to know how racist Nova Scotia is? Go check the comments on this.
Yeah.
Just read the comments on social media or on these articles. You will see how racist Nova Scotia is. I told you, it's like no other. It's like they're waiting for those moments. And then someone was like, well, you know, maybe just people don't. I was like, listen, I remember back in 2016, we had 3 homicides in 6 days, 3 black men. I was getting messages, racist messages. Oh, look, another black gangster off the street. You know, we need to kill them all. We don't have a gun problem. We have a black problem. Jesus. Those are the things that I've got messages I've got that I've seen and everything. Those are why people don't understand the racism here is deep. It's deep. Like, you don't understand. Africville. Preston. Everyone's like, well, Preston's out the way. Majority of people haven't even been to Preston. because they've seen it in the media, and media plays a role too on how you portray communities. You're only showing North Preston when there's a shooting or something happened. So what does this other community and people that don't go there know? Oh, it's only shootings that happen there. You don't talk about the Lindell Wigginton that's in the NBA. You don't talk about the Renee Smith or whatever singer, Keontae Beals. You know what I mean? You can talk about those young people, the Kirk Johnson boxer, the Castillo Clayton Olympian. You don't name those names. You don't shed light on those stories. Every community has bad apples. Every. You just shine light on the negative. And I know now we're trying to shed more light on the positive stories in the communities, but the damage is already done. And it's so funny because I always take people up there that are new here and they heard about North Preston and they heard about this, and I take them up there and they go in the community like, oh my God, it's nothing like what they said in the media.
Yeah.
These people are the friendliest people, man. They're so cool. Because that's all you need to do is drive through North Preston. You're not going to get shot. I can guarantee you that. That's my community, bro. That's my community. Every community has bad apples. We can go through any community. There was a shooting in Bedford, but that'll be a little story. That won't have a high headline. We just seen it. There was a shooting in Larry Utech. That was a little story. But when it's from Preston, when it's in Uniac, when it's in Mulgrave Park and all those black communities, it's a big headline. And then what I always hate that the media does, when a black man is killed, the pictures that they use.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
And then not only the pictures. Oh, he was known to police. Or he was this. Like he was supposed to die. Did you? Yeah. I'm going to use one example. I remember when we had the Dalhousie student that went missing or whatever and was killed by a med student at Dal. And they couldn't find his body and everything. He went to trial, and they found all the blood, and he cleaned up the blood and everything. And then they still can't find the body. They found a family farm. Did you see the picture they used? He was in a suit and tie and all buckled up. The headlines wasn't, oh, we have a real killer on our hands or nothing. There was nothing highlighted.
Yeah.
But every time there's a black person, every time it's in a black community, watch the headlines. That is also racism and discrimination. That plays a role. And so that has to change. But yeah, that's just a little bit. See, you get me on these topics and it's just so much, man. It's so much.
I'm just going to make an example. January 6th, we're also, again, sitting at home, waiting. The election is done after all the craziness. Biden is about to be sworn in. Craziness happened. Whenever a friend of mine that's white says, talks about white privilege, I'm saying, just, consider what you know about just life in general. Picture that everybody that went to the U.S. Capitol on January 6th was black. Can you tell me what you think would happen? I never get any answers for that question.
Listen, I tweeted out when that happened. I tweeted out the picture of the guy sitting in the Capitol in the chair in the Capitol building or whatever, and I said, we are shot while sleeping, Breonna Taylor. We are shot while jogging, Ahmaud Arbery. We are shot while playing, Tamir Rice, and the list goes on. But the fact that this man made it all the way to the U.S. Capitol without being shot or killed is the true definition of white privilege.
There you go.
And that's what people don't understand. They were like, oh, well, one lady was killed. Bro, we are out here protesting they don't understand. Like, nothing. Like, and they were like, and I felt like, okay, I'm sorry, but she knew storming the Capitol, what consequences there is. I know that. I know if I go try and storm the Capitol, I could be killed.
Yeah.
Look, there's no answer. It's common sense.
Yeah.
But had those been black people,
Oh gosh.
bro, I've been to Washington a lot of times. You know how hard it is to get at even remotely close to the Capitol building. But when you have officers that are on your side telling you to come on in, come, hey, just come on in.
Taking selfies.
Take it, and that was the frustrating. And then you had the man that really stood up, the black man.
He's only the black man that actually did his job. Oh my god.
They did his job and was like, yo, and steered him away from the Senate.
Yes.
He saved those senators that was in there, steered them away. Yo, come this way. And the fact that he did that, even knowing that our people would have been shot and killed. That's what people don't understand. As black people, we riot and we protest of our people being killed over and over. Just imagine if we got angry and took the streets to get revenge. We have never took the streets to get revenge, to kill cops, to do that. We have just protested. We just want equality. We are not out here killing people or whatever. We are literally out here protesting and rioting to make a difference so that we can have equal rights, so we can be treated the same. But imagine if we just one time try to take revenge. But we don't do that because we don't have privilege. But all those people stormed the Capitol because they had privilege.
Yeah.
They had that privilege, that knowing that this is what I told someone. I was like, you know what? Their privilege was so strong, they knew that they weren't going to get shot and killed going into that Capitol building.
Imagine the audacity. Like you wouldn't just walk into somebody's house. You're walking to the seat of power of a massive, like of a nuclear powered nation.
Yes.
Like
walked in like they were living there. They literally sat in seats. They literally went through drawers and offices without even being shot. Was actually told, hey, yo, come in and take a seat.
Yeah.
That's the epitome of white privilege. That's what it is. And that's why people don't understand. All it takes is a change in skin tone, color, for you to be shot, for you to be killed. People, one of the guys went to jail and was asking for special food.
Dude, that actually hurt me. That hurt me. So that was the guy with the horn. So I'm like reading an article and like this comes up and I'm thinking there are black people that have gone to jail for, I don't know, fucking selling loose cigarettes or whatever.
Yes.
And this guy basically tried to overthrow your government and he's like, oh no, wait, I'm vegan or some shit.
Yes. And literally, they changed his food. They literally changed his food. He will not survive. His mother, he will not survive in there eating that food. Well, the millions of black people around the world that have been incarcerated, we're supposed to eat it, right?
Right.
We don't have any special. The ones that are gone, and the thing about it, like I tell people, the privilege is just so deep, and I look at the mass shootings that have been happening.
Oh gosh.
You can go back to Dylan Roof when he sat in a church prayer and killed those nine black people in that church.
Yeah.
They took him to Burger King on the way.
You know, they always find a way to arrest the person if the person is of a different skin tone.
Yeah.
And then someone that just stopped and told the police officer, listen, I'm a card-carrying member. I'm licensed to carry a gun. I have a gun in my car.
With his daughter and his girlfriend right there. Philando Castile. Just boom, 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 boom.
Right.
We just seen what happened to the Asian community.
Oh my
down
God.
in Atlanta. And one of the chief of police comes out and was like, he was just having a bad day. So my bad days are to go kill someone,
right?
Not to kill. So, I'm just having a bad day. Oh yeah, you're not crazy. You're just having a bad day.
Yeah. Like he didn't, see, this is, when people don't understand privilege is because it's like you're breathing air. Like we don't see the air we breathe. We just know that it happens. It's just
Yeah.
I'm fine, right? Like I'm white. I can call a police officer and I'm not worried about what might happen. I know I'm gonna be fine. Like you can just take it for granted that the police officer is going to listen to what you're saying. Like I've seen videos of a traffic stop, and then the white guy attacked the police officer and got in the police officer's car and didn't even get tased. Like no
Bro.
taser. I'm like,
Bruh, I've seen those videos. Did you see the shooting at one of the protesters, the Black Lives Matter? Dude had a what was it, a big gun? The young
oh
guy?
my gosh.
And then he
That
walks
kid.
past police. They gave him water.
Yes.
After he just finished shooting. And that's what I don't understand.
Yeah.
Now, if that was a black person carrying
Oh
a gun.
my gosh. Yeah.
But people don't understand. We're killed. Breonna Taylor killed in her sleep. Amory Arbery killed while jogging. We are killed at traffic stops. You see the video. You see it. And you talked about loose cigarettes. What happened to, what's his name in New York?
Garner.
They choked him out.
Yeah.
Eric Garner. They choked and killed him. Oh, he was suspicious of selling youth cigarettes.
Like,
Those are the things that people don't understand. And I'm not saying that you didn't come from a hard upbringing as white privilege. And I'm not saying that you never came from poverty. I'm not saying that you never came from this and that. I'm saying simply because you're white, because your skin is different than mine, you have privilege in society,
yeah.
in this world.
You know,
And that's
yeah, it
Go
just
ahead.
remind me of something that Chris Rock said. There's a comedy special that Chris Rock had where he's like, you know what? You know how good it is to be white, right? Like the poorest white person in the audience would not exchange lives with him, and he is rich if the clause is that you'll become black, like you'll exchange your life, and like no matter how poor the white person is, the white person would rather stay poor than be black. And
Yes.
I'm Chris Rock. I have Chris Rock money. They have
and
it.
that's the sad reality. Bro, I keep telling you to tell people we are still fighting for that dream that Martin Luther King had. And this is the crazy thing. They celebrate it. They have a holiday for it. You celebrate the man, but do not live on his dream. How? How
Yeah.
do you celebrate a man, celebrate his legacy and everything, but do not live out the dream that he wanted for his people, for everyone, for equality? It's not happening. And that's how messed up. That's why when Trump got in, it took off that mask.
Yeah.
Trump, I was like, it was still 70 million that tried to re-vote him in.
Imagine.
After he showed what he showed for 4 years. Over 70 million was like, oh, yo, you did a great job. Let's get back in. That's
yeah.
This is America, bro.
Yeah. Like I keep saying when people like, no, this is not who we are. No. This is who you guys really are. Like now you can be fine to say it in public, Yeah. Oh my god, Quentrel. I'm so I'm sorry. Like I just want to talk about what you are working on.
I know. We got into some deep convo over here.
But like
See this man in my background was
Yeah.
the last president that did. And I had the honor of meeting this man and still so humble to this day.
yeah.
Still so humble, still out here working, to make change. And I had a dream one day, to become a singer, a basketball player. I never dreamed to meet Barack Obama. And I tell kids, man, I did it because I got to meet him because of the work I was doing. It was a reward along the journey. It was a blessing in the storm. And it didn't change my journey. It didn't be like, oh, I met Barack Obama, now the journey's over. No,
Yeah.
it further motivated me and inspired me to work hard to make sure that my people, have equality, in the education and justice system and, on the job, to work harder that, we decrease violence and I help people know, especially youth, know that it doesn't matter whatever happens in your life, whatever journey is given to you.
Yeah.
Make the best of it. I came from North Preston, a community that they put back on rock, a community that they stereotype, a community that they try and make look bad in the the public eye. North and East Preston, my communities, the Preston Township. That's who I represent, and they didn't think I was gonna make it. They didn't think I was gonna be where I'm at. I went to the top 100 to United Nations in the world. Didn't think I was going to be there. And I tell kids every day, man, make the best out of your situation. It doesn't matter if you make mistakes, because no one has ever succeeded without falling, without making mistakes along the way. If you want to be great, just be great at what you do. Those people around you that support you are your family and those close friends and people that will be there all through it all. Through thick and thin, through thick and thin. I keep telling thick and thin, they're going to be there. But you got to stay focused. And you got to understand that there will be distraction. My distractions are people being racist towards me, sending me messages, trying to distract me from the real issues that are going on. I see them. Yes, I see them. Does it make me? No. It means that they hear and they see my work is making a difference. So I work harder, that they get more upset, that they get more like, come at me with all your racism, but one day it's going to change.
Yep.
So thank you for having me. I know we've been sitting there talking about everything.
No, man, Quentrel, thanks for always speaking up. Thanks for always standing up for what you believe in. And like you said, it's still ongoing, it's still,
it is.
Work still needs to be done. And for all the white people watching or listening, it's okay to be uncomfortable, and it's okay to have this uncomfortable talk. So just understand that you're just feeling it now. We in fact, we even felt it before we were born, right? Because like it's generational, this thing. So we need to talk more, and I would like to have you come back to the sanctuary. Let's have some talk, maybe like at least once every couple of weeks, because who knows what will happen in the news.
And let me just say this to the people. You guys heard us talking a lot about white privilege and everything. This is not to separate us.
Yeah.
I'm saying this so you understand and become an ally and become a voice on the same side, working towards the change. I am not trying to push you or put you down. Understand that my words are to help you understand and educate you and learn, and understand that we need to do this together. In order for the change to happen, I need those, privileged voices. I need you to speak up on the job about, the inequality of, people of other races within your organization. We need that. I'm saying this so you be an ally, that we work together. So don't take it that I'm trying to put you down and push you to the side or divide. No, this is not about division.
No.
This is about coming together and working together for the greater cause.
Yo, thanks, Quentrel, and I hope your leg gets, heals up soon. Because I know you miss basketball.
Oh man, basketball! I was playing in 2 basketball leagues, refereeing, and 3 football leagues, and I'm not doing none of that right now. Actually, I just became a coach. That's all I'm doing now is coaching, and it's so hard to coach when you can't even go there and do nothing. so I'm just making it day by day. But I did get back in the studio, so I'm back in the studio recording music. Since I can't, go and play sports, that's my outlet. I was a singer before I even started doing Style to Violence, growing up in the church. So I'm trying to get back to doing music and doing some of that when I have time. So I'm working on an album this year. So I'm looking to do an inspirational album.
You should share some of your. Whenever a single is ready, you should send it out. Let's put it out here.
yeah. I just finished a single about a month ago.
Oh,
I
what is it
haven't
called?
released it. Missing You. So it's basically on. Over the last year, I've seen so many people go through losses. My
Yeah.
family, everybody losing loved ones over the last year has been tough. And then, a few months ago, in February, just before my surgery, a young man, my half brother's brother, who I watched growing up, he passed away. And, it hurt seeing his family, seeing my brother, his mother, and girlfriend who's a very close friend of mine, and all his boys and everyone go through that hurt. And then a couple weeks prior, we had a young man that was killed in North Preston, and it was just so much over the weeks, and so I started having dreams of losing my loved ones. My aunt, Kaylin, the reason why I did it, and for 3 straight nights, I was in these terrible dreams. And these words came to me about writing a song about missing you, and just keeping it real. And I woke up and I was supposed to sing for the funeral for DeAndre, but I ended up just recording it in the studio. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday, so that they can play at the funeral. But I had his mother and my brother, and I said half brother, but he's my full brother. I don't see these half. People have half siblings, but he's my full brother. That's my, and miss and just love him so much as well. And DeAndre was like a little brother to me. I took, so I wrote this song with him in mind and dedicated it in his honor, and sent it to his mother and to everybody. And they were like, these words just speak what I'm trying to, I'm feeling like there's no words to understand the pain of his mother or the pain of my brother or the pain of people, but I could just put it into words what I can see and kind of, what I mean? And the song is just a powerful song, Missing You. It should be out on all platforms soon. I'm just starting this inspirational album. So many people, like I grew up singing gospel. I already did an R&B album. So I was like, let me give people some hope in a world that's going through a pandemic, in a world that feels lost. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm working on, something different. In the music scene around here, you have hip hop, you have R&B, you have people doing gospel, but I'm gonna do inspirational. So
Oh man. Quentrel, I can't wait for that project to come out, and I'll be sure to check it out on Spotify once it drops. I'm gonna send out an invite, so we should do this again because
yeah,
there's so
oh
much to
yes,
talk about.
oh yeah, you see, we talked for almost an hour, and I'm just like, I still got more to say.
We've never
So
touched. Yeah, exactly.
So just let me know when you want to have me on again. I make time. I just the FYI, I'm off until the end of this month. So just the FYI, so
Okay.
my
Okay.
I'm off
Okay.
work for another month. So yeah, I'm
Okay.
here.
We'll definitely make this happen. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
no problem. Have a good
Okay.
day.
Yeah, you too.
Every time I close my eyes,